Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudirayet Nashtaprayeshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhakti Bhavati Nashtaki Granthra Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Jai. By regularly attending classes on Srimad Bhagavatam, all that is troublesome in the heart is almost completely destroyed. So that's the glory of Srimad Bhagavatam. Thank you, dear devotees, for joining today. I seek your blessings so that I can speak in the mode of Guru Parampara. Thank you, patience with my request. One chapter Patarupi Shafi passing Rupi Chat Pranam Bhavne Vaishnavi. We are continuing our reading, Canto 1, Chapter 18, text number 6. 118, 6. Kindly repeat after me. Yasmin ahani arhyeva.
Yasmin ahani yaryeva.
Bhagavan utsasarjagam.
Bhagavan utsasarjagam.
Tadaivehanuvrito sao. Tadaivehanuvrito sao. Adharma prabhava kali.
Adharma prabhava kali.
Yasmin ahaniyaryeva.
Yasmin ahaniyaryeva.
Bhagavan utsasarjagam.
Bhagavan utsasarjagam.
Tadaivehanuvrito sao.
Tadaivehanuvrito sao.
Adharma prabhava kali.
Adharma prabhava kali.
Yasmin ahaniyaryeva.
Yasmin ahaniyaryeva.
Bhagavan utsasarjagam.
Bhagavan utsasarjagam.
Tadaivehanuvrito sao.
Tadaivehanuvrito sao.
Adharma prabhava kali.
Adharma prabhava kali. Yasmin ahaniyaryeva. Yasmin ahaniyaryeva. Bhagavan utsasarjagam.
Bhagavan utsasarjagam.
Tadaivehanuvrito sao.
Tadaivehanuvrito sao.
Adharma prabhava kali.
Adharma prabhava kali. Thank you. So we are reading Canto 1, Chapter 18, text number 6, word for word translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Yasmin,
Yasmin,
on that,
ahani,
very day, Yarhyeva, in the very moment, Bhagavan, the personality of Godhead, Utsasarja, left aside, Gam,
Gam,
the earth.
the earth.
Tada,
Tada,
at that time.
at that time.
Eva,
Eva,
certainly.
certainly.
Iha,
Iha,
in this world.
in this world.
Anuvrita,
Anuvrita,
followed.
followed.
Asau,
Asau,
he. Adharma,
Adharma,
irreligion.
irreligion.
Prabhavaha,
Prabhava,
accelerating.
accelerating.
Kalihi,
Kalihi,
the personality of Purva.
the personality of God.
Translation: the very day and moment the personality of Godhead, Lord Sri Krishna, left this earth, the personality of Kali, who promotes all kinds of irreligious activities, came into this world. Purport: the personality of Godhead and his holy name, qualities, etc., are all identical. The personality of Kali was not able to enter the jurisdiction of the earth due to the presence of the personality of Godhead. And similarly, if there is an arrangement for the constant chanting of the holy names, qualities, etc., of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, there is no chance at all for the personality of Kali to enter. That is the technique of driving away the personality of Kali from the world. In modernized human society, there are great advancements of material science, and they have invented the radio to distribute sound in the air. So instead of vibrating some nuisance sound for sense enjoyment, if the state arranges to distribute transcendental sound by resounding the holy name, fame, and activities of the Lord, as they are authorized in the Bhagavad Gita or Srimad Bhagavatam, then a favorable condition will be created. The principles of religion in the world will be re-established, and thus the executive heads who are so anxious to drive away corruption from the world will be successful. Nothing is bad if properly used for the service of the Lord. ॐ ज्ञानतिमिरन्दस्य ज्ञानञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशधारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधार श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। So we are seeing this is towards the end of the first canto, where Suta Goswami is giving them details about Parikshit Maharaj, how he is going to get cursed to die in 7 days. So he has explained the birth of Parikshit Maharaj in the previous chapters, and now he's explaining the rule of Parikshit Maharaj. So when Parikshit Maharaj was ruling, personality of Kali was not able to exert its influence on the world, because he was exactly following the footsteps of his great ancestors, the Pandavas. So even though Lord Krishna had left, and we read the last chapter, the Pandavas retired timely. Pandavas left because Lord Krishna had left. So the personality of Kali has already entered this world, but still it's not able to exert its influence because of the ruling of Parikshit Maharaj. So that is the potency of a pure devotee. If he is the leader, then even though personality of Kali is present, cannot exert its influence on the world. As Vishal Prabhu asked this question from His Grace Vindu Prabhu about the prostitutes in the Dwarka. Even though Dwarka is spiritual word, how can prostitutes be there? So Prabhu mentioned there's always tiny bit of the population which have to be taken care of. So that's why that part of prostitutes were there, who were also devotees of the Lord. But in the age of Kali, we see that most of the population is tending towards those breaking those 4 regulatory principles, which is illicit sex, gambling, intoxication, and meat eating. So it depends upon the numbers, the proportion. So even though Kali was present in the time of Parikshit Maharaj, he was not able to exert its influence. How does he exert its influence? So we know in any system, when there is a set of people, 10% of people or 20% of people are on either way of the spectrum. There's a right wing and there's a left wing. But then 80% of people are open to suggestion. They can oscillate between right and left. So the personality of Kali, when he is present, then he can exert its influence on this 80% of people and move them towards irreligion. And these same 80% in the age of Satyayug will be moved towards religious activities. So that's how personality of Kali is all exerting its influence if an able leader is not present. So somebody might ask that even when Lord Krishna was present, there were demons. It's not that it was completely 100% pure. So that's what I am trying to explain, that there will be irreligion or falsity and those people who are against the principles of religion, but the percentage would be very less. But in this case, when personality of Kali is present and there is no able leader, the percentage will increase drastically. So that's how he's exerting his influence over the world. So what are the symptoms of Kali Yuga that we read in the last chapter, text 32? Greed, falsehood, robbery, incivility, treachery. What is the meaning of treachery? Dictionary meaning treachery. Misfortune, cheating, quarrel, and vanity. So
Betrayal or deception.
Betrayal or deception. So we can see this in the dealings of people. Greed, falsehood, robbery, incivility, treachery, which is betrayal or deceit, misfortune, cheating, quarrel, and vanity. So this is how we can see the effect of Kali around us, which is almost all pervasive, especially in the modern cities, so-called advanced civilizations. Even though America or so-called developed nations, they are so advanced economically, but we still see the deceit. We still see there's a crime. It's not that the prisons are less. If you have more affluence, if you have more economy, it's not that the crime is going down. So we can see that the effect of Kali is there everywhere in so-called developed nations or developing or underdeveloped nations. Everywhere Kali is present. And in the same chapter, text 33, Parikshit Maharaj told Kali that you cannot stay here because here people perform sacrifices. They perform dharmic activities. They offer gratitude to the Supreme Lord. So you cannot stay here. Even though later on he allowed him to stay at few places, as we know. So Prabhupada writes in that purport of 1733 that principles of religion is not a dogma. Even though state wants to be secular, yes, they can be secular. They do not have to give favor to a particular religion or particular tradition, but they cannot stay away from the principles of religion, which are truthfulness, austerity, cleanliness, and mercy. So this is common principles. Any religious tradition would agree with these principles. So they should not become indifferent to these principles of religion. If they become indifferent to these principles, then there will be these qualities in the people. You can see this in the world. And when the principles of religion are followed, then they would like to offer gratitude to the Supreme. There could be different ways of performing this gratitude. In Vedic tradition, it is known as yajna. Yajna means we know that there's a person behind the creation, and we are receiving air, water, food, sustenance, and we want to offer gratitude for what we are receiving. That's called yajna. Yajna means offering sacrifice of gratitude to the higher authorities. And there are different traditions, they offer gratitude to the Supreme in different ways. That's the principle of religion. So Prabhupada says that as long as that is taken care, there won't be any corruption in the world. And there are so many politicians, they want to drive away corruption. So that they should also care for the principles of religion. If they want to not favor a particular religion, they should favor the principles of religion. We see in India, Prime Minister Modi, he appreciates these principles. So we see that there is a significant change in the society accordingly. So how do they enter? I was thinking about there are so many qualities in Kali Yuga. What's the root of this? How does it enter the consciousness of an individual person? Because Kali uh, acts on every person individually. He's a very good salesman. So he has a perfect sales pitch for every person. Just like on book distribution, we have to give us different pitch to different person. Like Vijay Prabhu has been doing for 50 years, so he knows how to present to a particular person. He understands the person and explain accordingly. Similarly, Kali gives the pitch according to a person's how he can be allowed to break the principles of religion. So the common root I have seen, I have felt is the quality of entitlement or being ungrateful. When we take things for granted and we do not acknowledge the personality of any higher authority, and we do not feel gratitude, that's where Kali enters. Then all the qualities come with him, which is greed, falsehood, robbery, incivility, treachery, misfortune, cheating, quarrel, and hypocrisy. These come one after the other. On the other hand, if a person is grateful, then that is the entrance to um, the path of religious path. If a person is grateful, he cannot kill animals, because he would like to know where is he getting the food from, and he would not like to inflict pain on others. So gratitude is the mother of all good qualities, and it is said bhakti yoga begins with gratitude. So that's why yajna is there. The process of yajna, Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita that I have um, provided you with these facilities and the demigods. So if you offer this sacrifice to the demigods, both of you will be prosperous. So yes, you want to stay away. Krishna says if you want to stay by yourself, you can stay in the material world, but offer this sacrifice to the demigods. In that way, you can be prosperous in this material world. In the purport, Prabhupada talks about Nam, Roop, Gun, and Leela. So this is also translated as the holy name, the form, and the qualities and the pastimes of the Lord. They are all identical. So, yeah. So how can we ascertain the depth of a particular spiritual tradition? We can ascertain the depth of a particular spiritual tradition is how much details they are giving about the name of the Lord, about the form of the Lord, about the qualities, about the pastimes. I heard this from His Grace Srivas Pandit Prabhu when he was here. He said if you want to just compare the different religious paths and understand who is more advanced, we can see how much details they have for the names of the Lord, for the qualities of the Lord, for the form of the Lord, of the pastimes of the Lord. That is a unbiased approach to understand the advancement of any spiritual tradition. And we can see that in Abrahamic traditions, there's a lot of details uh, about maybe about the name and not so much about the form of the Lord. Mm. They are very uh, vague details. There's a crown and there's a light coming out from that crown, and they consider it a taboo to think about that there's a form of the Lord. But on the other side, in Vedic traditions, we have so many deities we have clear details about Krishna's form, about Lord Narayana's form, how he has lotus eyes, he's wearing a garland of lotus flowers, he has a costly jewel on his chest, he has a peacock feather, he has a flute, and his body color is like bluish. I was listening to Prabhupada yesterday. He was saying that the color of the sky is bluish because it's Krishna's bodily rays that are coming, that pervades the entire world. That's why the color of the sky is bluish. So there are so much details given in our Sanatan Dharma or the Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam that shows the depth of this spiritual tradition, so in an unbiased way. So one might also say that God is present everywhere. How do we understand that he has left this world? This verse is saying that when Krishna left the earth, at the same time, Kali entered. But God says that even Krishna himself says that I am present everywhere. So in Bhagavad Gita chapter 9, Krishna says in text 4 that he is present in the unmanifest form. Maya tatham idam sarvam jagat avyakta murtina matsthani sarvabhutani na chaham teshu avasthita. So he says, I am present in my unmanifested form. Translation goes like this: by me, in my unmanifested form, this entire universe is pervaded. All beings are in me, but I am not in them. So Prabhupada says in the purport, thus for people in general, he is not visible. Here it is said that although he is all pervading, everywhere present, he is not conceivable by material senses. This is indicated by the word Avyakta Murtina. But actually, although we cannot see him, everything is resting in him. As we have discussed in the 7th chapter, the entire material cosmic manifestation is only a combination of his two different energies, the superior spiritual energy and the inferior material energy. So he is present everywhere, but we cannot see him. He is invisible. So there's a question of accessibility. Accessibility. Any philosophy is can gain traction or can gain popular vote if it has two qualities. One, it is sublime, and second, it is accessible. So yes, if you want to know some philosophy about the God, it has to be sublime. It cannot be mundane. It cannot be anything which is material. There has to be some transcendental aspect to it. Second thing, it has to be accessible. So yes, it is great if a philosophy is transcendental, telling us a lot of great qualities about God. But if I cannot access, I cannot approach that spiritual world, then we cannot appreciate it so much. So Krishna is present everywhere in the world, but he is accessible. How he is accessible? Through his name, form, qualities, and pastimes. And more clearly in the form of archa. When we go to the temple, we can see Krishna's form clearly. So many times people say, why do we have to go to temple? God is everywhere. As Prabhupada says, if God is everywhere, he must be in the temple also. You can come to the, why he's not in the temple? He should come to the temple also. So God is present and he is accessible there. Yes, there's an example given about water, and many people say, I want water. Yes, water is everywhere in the air. So yeah, you can take water from the air. We still need a tap to access that water. So there has to be accessibility. That accessibility is present in the archa form, in the deity form of Krishna. And when we are not able to go to the temple, we can chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. There was this person I met yesterday on book distribution. They are from India, Haryana. state where Bhagavad Gita was spoken. So these people were very pious, but they said, we don't get time to go to the temple. We go maybe once a month or once a week. We would like to go every day. So I mentioned that you can chant the holy names. I gave them beads and they happily gave a donation. And I gave them the mantra card and they said they would chant every day. So Krishna's name is present with everybody. And we can discuss the qualities of Krishna by reading Bhagavad Gita. We can discuss the pastimes of Krishna by reading Srimad Bhagavatam that we are doing. So Krishna is identical. As long as we are in touch with him in through name, form, qualities, and pastimes, Krishna is present. And the influence of Kali won't be there. So we can test it out. We can sample a house where every day there's Krishna Katha, there's chanting of the holy names, and we can measure, are we seeing gratitude in in people in general? Are we seeing the quality of mercy, truthfulness, or we are seeing the others treachery, ingratitude, falsity? It's an experiment, scientific experiment. We can try that. And there's a very nice verse that is here in this context. Atah Shri Krishna Namadi na bhaved grahim indriye sevon mukhe hi jivado swayam eva spuratyada. Although Krishna is unmanifest in this world and our material senses cannot approach him, however, when we utilize these material senses in order to glorify Krishna by chanting his names and by honoring Krishna Prasad, then Krishna being pleased himself, he reveals these name, form, qualities, and pastimes. So when we are able to experience this in our heart, we feel a joy which is uncomparable to any other joy in this world. And such a person doesn't need anything else to be happy. He is naturally happy, happy for no reason, which is the state of the soul. This is the constitution, Sukhinara. That's a word from Japan, Sukhinara. But it's also there in Bhagavad Gita. How does this verse begin? Prak Sharir Vimokshana. That if one can give up the anger and one more thing before leaving this body, so he can be a happy human in this world. You have this. Yeah.
Sapnoti haivaya shodhum prak sharir mokshanat kama krodhar bhavam vegam sayukta sa sukhinara.
Shaknoti haivya sodam. If one can give up the qualities of kama and krodha before one gives up this material body, then one can be a happy human in this world. So that's the most difficult things to give up. That's the personality of Kali, giving us kama and krodha. We have desire to enjoy this material world, and when this desire is not fulfilled, then there is anger. If it is fulfilled, then we feel proud, feel entitled. And then when we feel pride, when these material things, they don't satisfy us, so we want more. We become greedy. And when we get more of it, we don't want others to have it. We just want us to have it. So then we become envious. So all these qualities come one after the another. So the cost of liberty is eternal vigilance. As famous statesman said, the cost of liberty is eternal vigilance. One has to be vigilant. How am I spending my daily time? Am I giving time to chant Krishna's name, God's names, follow the principles of Dharma, religion? Am I reading Krishna's pastimes about Krishna's form, Krishna's qualities? If I'm doing that, I can expect liberty. Otherwise, I should expect the other side of the spectrum, which is all those qualities of irreligion. So Prabhupada also mentions about the great advancement of material science in terms of radio. So we have podcasts now. Podcasts are more popular than radio. So if we can hear the monk podcast by Chaitanya Charan Prabhu, or we can hear the wisdom of the sages by Kaustuv Prabhu and Raghunath Kappu. There are so many nice podcasts. And Bhagavad Gita is the original podcast. conversation between Krishna and Arjuna. Arjuna is asking questions and Krishna is answering. So then we can stay above uh, this irreligion and sense gratification. It is also said anyone who rules the air rules the world. So whatever you put on the air in terms of the radio, the podcast, that will decide the cumulative consciousness of the world. So the more we have Krishna Katha on the internet, on the air, the better it is for the world. So we should flood the entire world with Krishna Katha. Lot of classes, as we have so many great speakers now. We are so fortunate in this movement. From that one voyage that Srila Prabhupada took from India to the Western world, because of that one step, we have so much Krishna Katha floating around all over the world. What to speak of that? We have movies coming out, Mahavatar Nrsimha. So that is real success. We had movie on Srila Prabhupada Hare Krishna movement, this mantra, the movement, and the Swami who started it all. It was the spiritual revolutionary. We have many materially revolutionary people here, but we don't have so many spiritual revolutionaries. Prabhupada is the original spiritual revolutionary. So it was Prabhupada Appearance Day on Sunday. So we should remember how Prabhupada took that step, uh, difficult step at the age of 70 to go to the West and gave this Krishna consciousness, because of which now we have so much spiritual content available. There were many serials when I was growing up, like Mahabharata, Shri Krishna, and there was very nicely, Ramayana, Mahabharata, and Shri Krishna. And because of that, we also get some inclinations to practice dharma. So that because of that, also we can see that we have still truthfulness in the world. We have people visiting the temples. Last Saturday we had 12,000 people visiting. So we should continue that. That momentum should not go away. At the same time, these serials, they should not be done in terms of publicity or TRP. It should be done according to Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam in alignment. As Prabhupada says, Sanatana Goswami says that if this is contaminated, if this is not original, then the same thing, it can act like a poison. Avaishnav Mukhodgirnam Putam Hari Kathamritam Shravanam Naiva Kartavyam Sarpochishta Jathapya. So Sanatana Goswami says that even though a person might be speaking Hari Katha, Krishna Katha, but if this person is a Vaishnav, he is not a Vaishnav, he is not dedicated to serving Krishna, but he is doing it out of a vested interest to gain fame, to gain money, to gain followers, then that same Hari Katha, which is like milk, which is very nutritious, it can act like poison. Just like a serpent who has touched the milk, that milk becomes poisonous and it can kill anybody. Similarly, that same Hari Katha, Krishna Katha, which is meant to give us life, it can be the cause of the destruction in our spiritual life. So it is very important, the source where we are getting the Hari Katha. It should be authorized. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. I will pause here if you have any questions, concerns, or comments, reflections. I'll like to be corrected.
I was thinking about the word Sukhinara.
Yes.
It's the first time I'm hearing this. There was a pastime, I think, Srila Prabhupada memories of his Holiness the Krishna Goswami. She writes this pastime near the final time of Srila Prabhupada. Just to recap for people online. Yeah, I was reflecting on the word Sukhinara and specifically a pastime of Srila Prabhupada that is narrated by His Holiness the Krishna Goswami Maharaj. And in this pastime, it was near the final stages of Prabhupada's life. And he said that at one point, two personalities, very famous personalities had come to visit Srila Prabhupada, and they requested that everyone leave the room. But I believe somehow the Mahaprabhu Goswami, or one of the disciples there, left recorder on, and the two personalities were asking actually who would be the next person in charge of this whole ISKCON, this Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya, was part of it. And Prabhupada had said then that he is not going to select a particular person who's really open to it. Anyone. So I was just thinking, like, in the context of how what you were saying was that um, when we have common lust to, lord it over material nature, then uh, we have that pride if it's fulfilled, and then we become greedy and then envious because we want nobody else to have it. But you see Prabhupada that the Sukinara, like he had that just happiness for no reason. We could have just been in Seva Kunj the rest of his life and went back home back to God and so Radha Krishna to him. But no, he wanted to give others this Sukinara, so it's the exact opposite. You see, and then he was even ready to give anyone else the stage, that next to become a spiritual master. He was ready to do that because that's his nature. There's no one he's whatsoever ready to give it all to anyone. So start that.
Hare Krishna. Thank you for sharing that. I was reading the Vyas Puja offering to Srila Prabhupada by His Holiness S.B. Keshav Maharaj. He says that a touchstone, Vaishnava is like a touchstone, and he creates more Vaishnavas. And Prabhupada is such a touchstone that he created more touchstones. Whomever he touched, those people, not only he became devotee, but that person became empowered to make more devotees, make more touchstones. That is the power of Srila Prabhupada. So, we are very fortunate. Any
The key is actually the badge that Guru Maharaj made for the youth.
So,
5:20 was the verse that they had to memorize for. I don't remember for what, but then Guru Maharaj told them to make badges. And then if they see somebody who's happy for no reason, they're supposed to give the badge to them.
Oh,
That's the key to the badge.
no.
I didn't get it, but somebody else, some other there's one reflection about accessibility that you were saying.
Yeah.
So you see, there are some Abrahamic religions where the accessibility is a little difficult because, let's say, for example, the Bible.
Yeah.
Before Christ came in, the people before that did not have access to it. Only after the Advent did they get access to the Bible, which meant people before that did not have access to religious principles or any form of God. That's what it seems like. Right? But the Vedic literatures that are available from time immemorial, and it's always said the vibrations are always coming in. And we see in some cases in Satya Yuga they already know about Lord Ram. They already know about Krishna. So it has been from time immemorial. So accessibility is there. But in other cases, if accessibility is not there in the sense, after a certain point in time is when they've had it. So people before that point in time did not have access to it.
Yeah. That's so true. People who are sober-minded, they can appreciate all these details. I meet so many people on book distribution, they appreciate it, and they are open to reading Bhagavad Gita. Many of them say that Jesus was not present at a certain time. So many people say that he visited India, he learned spirituality from there, and they appreciate it because who would know? There is nobody who would know in the western part of the world. So it's if people who are sober, they will appreciate it. At the same time, we should also appreciate that they have so many lessons that we also utilize. Many books, for example, Stephen Covey, The 7 Habits of Highly Successful People. So religion or spirituality is not just for ISKCON. Krishna manifests himself in so many different ways, and we can utilize those realizations to put our point forward. Prabhupada used many times the Bible, to put his point forward. So, yeah. Okay, let's stop.